And a lot of times it's just like the feds. You don't get sentenced for what you just done. You get sentenced for your past.
When young Carmelo, he was 17, of course, handcuffed, like you said, he was crying. He even asked if the boy was okay. He got a bond quickly, so he didn't stay. I think he might have stayed in jail for a few hours, maybe overnight. But he spent up until the trial, he spent time at home, able to still play the game, talk to his family, watch TV, do all that. It wasn't until he was found guilty that he actually had to go straight into prison. For you, again, depending on what age you actually went into the system or went into jail, mentally, what was it for you going in on the first time? Like,
it was scary. Hell, just going into the county jail, period, was scary.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got all these dudes walking around here, swole, bucked up and stuff, don't know you and stuff. You ain't never land. And half of them just looking for a prey. And we ain't even got to the damn COs yet. If they don't like your ass and shit, they'll feed you to the wolves.
And these are grown men. Like, that's what people don't understand. Like,
so
he's a child going to a place with grown men.
You try it as an adult, they're not going to care. They're going to stick you anywhere. They don't care. And what was so crazy about it was when it was all over with, when they gave him that time, do you know how fast they sent his ass to prison?
Yeah, what's the normal time to get sent? Like, how does the process normally work once you're found guilty and sentenced?
Bruh, you gonna sit there and wait on chain day for you to catch flight to go to the penitentiary after they get your paperwork done. That is the fastest.
How long does it normally take on average?
I mean, it could take 2 weeks to 2 months. It could take 5 months. I seen niggas waiting for a chain down there a year. It depends on where you're going and how fast they get all your paperwork done. But the same day, come on, man. They didn't want them problems. That's why they hurried up and got him away from there when got to cut his hair and send him down to prison. They didn't want that. Because, see, Collin County with the bucking and going off and all this here. But if there was anything like California and shit, they'd have burnt that bitch to the ground. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm not a fan of losing all my shit out of anger, but sometimes you gotta set an example and let them know that we can lose something, but so can y'all. Y'all put all this money into this city to do all this, but you're not doing right by us. We'll set this motherfucker on fire. We'll burn it to the ground. It ain't like we ain't never had nothing before.
Well, I would say there was a lot of people out there protesting on the white side and the black side. It kind of made it a race thing. First and foremost, based on the charges itself, did you feel like he was going to get found guilty? What do you feel his chances were? And this is before the jury. This is before the jury was all.
He was going to prison regardless.
All right, so he has to actually atone for this in some kind of way.
Exactly. You're in a prestigious white county.
In the world.
In the world. Collin County, Frisco, McKinney. Come on, man. Ain't no getting around that. And just like Carmelo was somebody, his daddy was somebody, so was that white boy. His daddy was somebody too, and he knew the judge. So how you think that was gonna go? Everybody, I hear the chit chatter and shit about, oh, if he had a black jury and shit, he'd have got off. No, he was not. No, he was not. Now, what I don't disagree with is that they gave him 35 years instead of giving him manslaughter.
Yeah, that was very interesting that they actually got the murder conviction versus manslaughter. The whole situation read manslaughter. But
exactly.
If you look at the definition of murder with the intent, they keep honing on why did he bring the knife? And I'm like, this kid just came from Louisiana. I mean, it wasn't even the smaller than 5-inch knife. I mean, he could use that to peel apples.
Exactly. But people tend to want to make it a race thing and this, that, and the third, and I'm all for my people and all this here. But let's get one thing clear. And I've said this many times before, and nobody's paying attention. The system is no longer about wrong or right. It's about money, power, and control. When you have an individual that gets in trouble, any kind of trouble that's high profile as he was, that's a lot of money coming into this county.
Yeah.
Between judges, lawyers, and whoever else that's involved. That's money in our pockets. If we make him guilty and put everything in an uproar, they're going to come back and appeal it. That's more money. We already trying to build up this damn town more than what it is. Appreciate you. Y'all helping us. We don't give a damn if he was wrong or right. Y'all can appeal it and fight it again, and he might just get the manslaughter, but he's still gonna get that time. Because you cannot get away with murder. Even if it was self-defense. My ex-girlfriend, before I started dating her, Lorkel Ludwig, you can look her up. She stabbed her husband 36 times. 36 times. But we got to go to the previous things that was happening to her to provoke her to do that. He was beating on her. He was dragging her. He was verbally beating her. And she had enough of it. So this one night he came in and slapped her around and all that stuff. She ran in the kitchen and got a butcher knife. And her anger, her fear, and just being tired of it all, yeah, she overkilled. Yeah, she overdid it. But you got to think psychologically, she was tired. And all her frustration was coming out. She got involuntary manslaughter, which only carried 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, see, look at that. Multiple stabs.
Multiple stabs. But had she had any kind of status, it'd have been a bigger thing, a bigger issue. Depending on who she was, who she know, who our parents are, you know what I'm saying? How much money they have, what class are they, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. All this takes effect when you get in trouble. When the laws pull you over, they run your name, they know everything. It's all popping up. Even if you didn't pay your insurance last month, it's popping up.
Facts.
And a lot of times it's just like the feds. You don't get sentenced for what you just done. You get sentenced for your past.